Welcome to week 3 of the Globe series. This is a reminder that this journey is meant to be very fun, healthy, human, loving, and real. Not restrictive, not shaming, not perfect, and not unrealistic expectations. So, this episode is going to be talking about my current routine. And I have gone through a lot of routines, waking up 5 a.m., doing the workout method. And I originally got this from the 5 a.m. club, which I did a video about. But that personally, just like after doing it for a while, I've tried it at many different stages of my life. It just didn't work out the way I've always wanted it to. So, this is the first routine I've been doing now for, I think, almost 4 months or over 4 months. Well, since the beginning of the year, basically. And how I balance a full time job, posting on multiple YouTube channels, family, my personal journey with God, and everything. And this has been the most consistent and the most I've ever shown up for myself in a really long time, or probably my entire life. And I know you can't see the fruit of my labor yet, maybe in my appearance or my YouTube subscribers. I know it will come in its own time. I'm still working on tweaking little things in my routine to allow things to flow more smoothly and effectively. But again, this is still part of a journey. This is a process. This isn't a finish line. This is a journey that's going to last a lifetime. And so the first thing you really have to do is make a decision to want to better your life, a more disciplined life. And this isn't emotion, this is a choice. I used to have my workouts, my eating habits, my time with God, working on YouTube, anything. It would be just how I felt. And so if I didn't feel like doing it that day, I didn't. But now I switched my mindset to, okay, this is my routine. And it's okay to like fall off a routine every once in a while, but something that I can go back to because it's a routine, it's stability, and it's non negotiable for me. This is going to be put into two parts, the weekends and the weekdays. We'll start with the weekdays. So 4:55, I wake up. It gives me about 5 minutes to get situated. 5 a.m. to 5:10, I meditate. I use guided meditation. Sometimes I sit in silence, but guided meditations help me to not fall back asleep. 5:10 to 5:20, I write affirmations and goals in present tense. For example, I am confident my family and loved ones are guided and protected. I'm always safe when I travel. And goals can be like, I'm so grateful for my wonderful new job, any goal you have in present tense. 5:20 to 5:30, I read the Bible. So, the first 30 minutes of my morning is 10 minutes meditation, 10 minutes affirmations, and 10-minute reading. Of course, it isn't strictly blocked. Sometimes my meditation is 13 minutes, sometimes my writing is 7 minutes, sometimes my reading my Bible is 15 minutes. Like, it just varies. I just make sure to try and get into those time crunches just to keep the routine. But having my morning start off this way is so nice and very relaxing. Like I said, when I used to do the 5 a.m. club, I believe in the book it recommends like going straight into a workout. And I never felt motivated, I never felt excited. I hated waking up. But meditating and writing my goals and spending time with God gives me a feeling of peace and purpose and excitement for the day. Then 5:30 a.m. to 6 a.m. is breakfast. This gives me plenty of time to cook, eat, have my coffee without feeling rushed at all. I usually have like 15 minutes left over just to relax and drink my coffee. 6 a.m. to 6:30 is when I get ready. I'll do skincare, hair, makeup. Again, I think I finished like 10 minutes early because I didn't even blow dry my hair. I just let it be natural today. So this is still just a baseline. So it's not like perfect. I never feel rushed in the mornings with my schedule. 6:30 to 7:30. So this is my YouTube time. So I film, edit, work on thumbnails, scripting, reading a book, anything towards my YouTube channel. I have two YouTube channels, Megan Loves Life and Self Help is Sexy. I try to use this hour the best that I can. When I originally started in January, I was posting on Megan Loves Life daily, and I was doing Reddit stories, so I could like film an hour and cut that into multiple videos. And I just found that I did personally just don't want to do Reddit stories anymore. I don't think it aligns with what I want for my YouTube. For me, it was a chance to be consistent, to post daily, and I did that for a month, and then I did 3 times a week for a month or two, and now I'm posting once a week, and then my glow up series, which is makes it twice a week. And then I post on my self help is sexy channel the same amount. So one on Saturday and then my glow up series. And I personally use this hour for YouTube, but you can use this time for whatever you like, whether it's writing a book, starting a business, having something that you used to do but you got too busy for it. Like maybe you used to play an instrument or wishing you had time to like do art again. This is your journey. It doesn't have to be like a productive machine. 7:30 to 8 a.m. I post my shorts if I have any, and then I will go to work. I work 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. If I have time during my lunch, I will sometimes work on YouTube, but I really just value my break time and my rest and relax. So I get home around 5:15, and I do have the luxury of living only 10 minutes from work. Not everyone has that, so the schedule may have to be adjusted to your circumstances. But yeah, I get home, I change into workout clothes, and from about 5:15 to 5:45, give and take, I do a 30-minute workout. That's anything to really get the blood flowing. 5:45 to 7 o'clock, I have dinner, shower, and I have some evening tea. Then I have 2 hours to do whatever I want. I did say until 7, but usually I'm done by like 6:30. And then Tuesdays, I do have a women's group that I go to from 6:30 to 8. So that allows me to step away from YouTube during the week and gives me some time to hang out with some wonderful ladies and talk about God and just enjoy company without feeling like productive all the time during the week. But other nights, I just gauge how I feel. Sometimes I want to relax, sometimes I feel motivated and want to get a project done, but I never force myself to work in the evenings. I personally just hate the thought of having to work an 8-hour day and then having more on my plate when I get home. So that's what I used to do. I used to work out in the mornings and do my Bible reading and everything. And then when I got home is when we would do YouTube and stuff. And I was just so exhausted. I never felt like I wanted to do it. And it was made me more inconsistent. I will say I am naturally a morning person as well. So that might be another reason. I don't have energy in the evenings, especially after work. I'm exhausted. But for me, having so much done in the morning, it feels like a cheat code to life. I do have an office job, and it is the best feeling, not mentally, but physically, when I do my workouts right after work and just moving my body. And for the first 3 months, I really hated working out and never looked forward to it. That's why you have to instill the habit. But I always felt better after. And now, almost 4 months, or even probably, I don't know how long it's been. I think it's been exactly 4 months. I definitely don't hate it nearly as much. Sometimes it's just getting over the hump in the beginning that's the hardest part. Now let's get into part two, the weekends. I usually naturally just go to bed around 10 p.m., 11 p.m. at the latest. I wake up around 8 a.m. naturally. I think like last weekend I woke up at 7:30, really just whenever I have my full rested sleep. And the first thing that I always do is yoga. And I do 30 minutes of yoga. Sometimes it's power yoga, sometimes it's relaxing yoga. Really just depends on my body, how sore it is from the week. I never want to push my body. So sometimes, yeah, I will just do a very relaxing stretching, and that's still considering moving my body for 30 minutes. And then I will do a 10-minute meditation. And I actually don't use a guided meditation usually in the weekends. The mornings on the weekends are my favorite because it's just so quiet and relaxing. I will then do 10 minutes of journaling and reading my Bible. I just love starting my mornings like this. Most of the world is still asleep, listening to the birds. I just feel so uplifted and happy. I am moving soon, so I'm already like imagining how nice it's going to be to have the mountain view and just being in a more quiet area. I'm just so excited. And then I usually see my family once a week, usually Saturday, especially since I am moving to another state next month. I want to see them as much as I can. So I usually will work on YouTube if I need to. When I used to post every day, I had to. But I just didn't like that I was missing time with my family. So I think this balance of posting 2 times a week is definitely better for me. So now I rarely have to work on the weekends for YouTube. If I do, I will, but I will either work on YouTube, relax until I go see my family, and then I'll hang out with them for as long as I want without feeling any guilt or anything like that. That anything is on my shoulders. Sunday morning is the same routine, like my yoga, meditation, reading my Bible, journaling, all the same. We get groceries. This is also our cleaning day. We also do cleaning on Wednesdays. So, like Wednesday and Sunday are our cleaning days. This is just like vacuuming. It doesn't take more than 30 minutes because we live in a small apartment. So, it's just like maintenance, just making sure everything's tidied up from the week. We'll do laundry, relax, meal prep, prepare for the coming week. And doing this routine has just made it so easy for me to stay consistent. I don't feel rushed. I always make sure I have time to relax every single day, not just on the weekends. So this helps me not to feel overwhelmed or overworked. And I will say this is a work in progress because I do think I have some kind of like addiction to my phone. It's hard for me just to drink a cup of coffee and sit down and relax and enjoy it without having to have some kind of YouTube or Hulu or something on. And so that's something I want to implement. Like I said, this isn't a concrete routine. I'm still trying to figure out what still works best for me. I think me and my partner are going to try and do like we might do one day out of the week where we just don't touch our phones, when we don't watch TV or just like going out. It's going to be very naturist where we're going to the mountains, just spending time in nature and having our phones on us, maybe turned off in case of emergency or figuring out how to do that. But YouTube analytics, and it's very addicting to get sucked into checking it constantly and having your mood dependent on it. And it's just something I don't want for myself. And so I think having that one step away could really benefit me. So I'm excited to possibly do that and let you guys know how that works. I would love to know how you guys balance your days, or even if you have any suggestions to my schedule, I'm always open to learning and growing. Of course, with anything, things come up. We had a trip up north for a weekend to go apartment shopping, so we tried our best to be in the routine. We didn't get to work out, but we did get to read our Bible and everything. And yeah, it's supposed to be fluid. You're not meant to feel guilty for not showing up perfectly every single day. Again, this is still a journey, and there's still things that are going to come up that maybe you didn't expect to. I got a job offer in 2 weeks of applying, so we were like, wow, this is moving really fast. We weren't expecting this. So just enjoying life with it. It's not meant to be pressure or robotic, like enjoy life. But this routine makes it easier for me to go back into those days after those trips or after something maybe happens that is not in our routine. This makes it easier to go back into that routine and makes daily life just a little easier. If this is too much for you, I did do a basics video just talking about the basics and the small steps we could do if you have no idea where to start, but I'll have that linked somewhere around here. And I hope this is able to help you or someone you love, and I'll see you in the next one.